both heavyweights prepared, both heavyweights ready to rumble when it comes to the heavyweight titles on the line. For Usyk is defending. More importantly, there's also the ring magazine title on the line. Remember, Tyson Fury vacated that title over the weekend. So I'm being joined now by Ojabowale Afolabi, the editor of MMA Planet, who joins me to talk about this and more. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
It's good to have you here.
It's good to be back.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has actually been a
while. But before we talk, UFC and the rest of them, AJ Usyk, so much noise about it, the anticipation. Let me get your view first on the preparation. From what we've seen, Usyk bulking up, adding about 15 kilos, Joshua trimming down, the sparring has gone well, and both guys are talking tough and confident of victory. What do you think about their preparations?
Well, the excitement level for this one is like an all-time high. Both of the, many times you hear the phrase, the biggest fight of his career in boxing. But this one for Joshua, it actually is, because it might not be the end of his career, but if he has to win this to protect his legacy, because if he lost to Andy Ruiz once, losing again to Usyk, if he can beat him this second time, then his legacy is
probably secured.
But if he loses again, is he going to get another title fight? Is he going to get into that upper echelons of boxing again? It's going to be a tough. So yes, it's going to be a very good fight.
Okay, let's look at this fight. We need to break it down as much as possible in terms of making it simplistic for our viewers to understand. Differentiate between a boxer and a puncher, because all the time we get to hear Joshua is a puncher, Usyk is a boxer. Going into the first bout, that's what we had on display. It was all about the punch for Joshua, while for Usyk, it was basically boxing. So, explain the sweet science for our viewers out there.
Okay, so the difference between both fighters is Usyk is like a pure boxer, right? It defends well. It does not make major mistakes. It fights off the jab. So his footwork is excellent. He's very light on his feet. Before you touch him in this place, he has already gone to that place. Like, he moves very well. While Joshua is that big, like a typical heavyweight, is just big and just relies on that big right hand. But your power does not mean anything if you can't touch someone, which was what we saw in the first fight. Everyone thought leading into that fight that it was just going to be just another night where he's just going to beat him. But Usyk relied on his footwork, and by the 8th round, Joshua was visibly tired. And
apparently,
because when you miss shots, that's when you actually when you touch someone, you still conserve.
Confident.
But when you don't touch them, it messes up your head too, because you're like, why can't I touch this guy? So that's like the major difference
between a boxer and a puncher. Okay, so now let's go into the rematch. From what we saw, in the first bout, it looks like Usyk, beyond being the champion, still is on the ascendancy in that sense. Now, looking at Joshua and how he has trimmed down, you think the game plan has changed? It's not just about relying on the power; it's about being, fleet-footed as well.
So one of the major changes Joshua made in preparation for this was changing his
trainer,
coach, went to Robert Garcia. So and Garcia, as we spoke earlier, is kind of person who wants his fighters to be very aggressive, put on the pressure on the opponent, and in a way, it's going to be what's going to happen in the earlier rounds. It's just like what we talked about when Deontay Wilder fought Fury for the second time. You start with the game plan you came with. But if it doesn't work, you go back to your old habits. So in the first 3 rounds, we see Joshua putting the pressure on Usyk. Because one of the things many people criticized him about in the first fight was, okay, you are the bigger guy. Why are you not using your power? You're not trying to impose your will upon the fight. It was fighting Usyk's fight. You're trying to outbox a boxer, which is something you shouldn't do. Exactly. So in this fight, I see him trying to bully the smaller Usyk.
Okay, and you think that will work? I mean, Usyk has bulked up 15 kilos. Right now, it looks like a heavyweight.
Joshua is still going to come in above 240. Usyk is not going to come in heavier than 220 pounds. So it's the weight difference is still going to be there.
And who do you think has the advantage in that sense?
In the size, obviously AJ.
You think that will work?
Yes, it will.
It will work?
Yes.
Okay, now, I mean, before we leave this discussion, we also have to look at, the possibility of changing tactics, in between? Because for Usyk to bulk up, it is apparently also trying to impose a bit of power, go for the knockout if possible, while still maintaining, his boxing skills. For Joshua, it looks more like imposing the will, getting aggressive, just trying to show you are the bigger guy all the way. Looking at the fights, what will be your prediction from what we've seen, in the first fight and the training camps? What do you think will pan out?
So, if we look at both boxers, Usyk, his percentage of knockouts is not as high as Joshua.
Okay.
So, Joshua I think it will be more aggressive in this fight. He will want to impose his way. He will be more motivated to get back his belt. And it's hard. But I'd rather he goes out on his shield than what he did the first time. But I'll still go with Joshua because he did it the first time in the Ruiz rematch, and I see him doing it again this time.
But when you compare the boxing skills of Ruiz and Usyk,
it's way no. I'm not comparing the skills. It's totally different. But we've seen Joshua lose, go back to the drawing board, and come up with something different.
Because he outboxed Ruiz. Do you think he can outbox?
He's not going to outbox Usyk, but the match is going to be a different one from the first one. And I see Joshua winning.
What round?
It's going to be a unanimous decision.
Okay, unanimous decision. I'm glad you're laughing because that's actually, a tough call right there. And viewers, you can stand a chance to win amazing prizes right here on the arena. All you need to do is just give us your prediction of the Anthony Joshua-Oleksandr Usyk fight. Who wins and in what round? Once you get that correctly, you definitely stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Remember, the time and condition is you have to follow us on our social media platforms at iBrandTV, both on Instagram and Facebook, while on Twitter it's iBrand_TV, and you stand a chance to win amazing prizes. Do not forget our YouTube pages as well. Like and subscribe, iBrandTV, iBrandTV Media, and you stand a chance to win something nice. Remember, it's not just who wins, but also the round. That gets you something amazing. It's not just enough to say Anthony Joshua will win. I mean, what round? Be bold in your predictions at this point in time. 2 wins from 2 matches to the start of the season. The third one is at Bournemouth, and that is definitely a tricky tie, but Arsenal will fancy their chances of making it 3 wins out of 3. Quick one. You think Arteta, they recruited quite well, in the transfer window. You think that that's translating to on-the-field success?
Yes, it is. So Gabriel Jesus is like who Man United thought they had when they signed Ronaldo last season. Because he has brought like a new bounce to the entire team. You can see his performance like it was. So yes, like you said, it's a very good time to be an Arsenal fan right now. And well, I see them doing the same, keeping their good performance against Bournemouth.
So who gets this? Quick one. Arsenal. Yes. You want to predict the scoreline?
3-1.
3-1. Okay. He goes for 3-1. I go for 3-1 as well. I'm talking about Arsenal winning. Again, hey, this is about you putting your money where your mouth is, as they say. But I'm not an octopus. I'm just giving you my predictions based on what we watch, week in, week out, assessing the teams, and that's what we'll keep on doing henceforth. So, for those who are interested, in the act of sports betting, you can be assured that Arsenal should defeat Bournemouth, all things being equal, by at least 2-1 or 3-1. Your best bet is to take Arsenal as the victor when it comes to this match itself. Let's move away from there and talk about Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea against Leeds United used to be a derby to look out for in the early 2000s before Leeds United were demoted to the second and third tier of English football. But they're back, and this again is probably going to be a fierce contest to watch out for. Last week it was Chelsea Spurs. We knew how that was heated. This is another derby. Yeah, Chelsea should have won that, but this is another derby. What are you expecting? Chelsea away from home.
Chelsea is going to win this. It's not going to be as fair as last weekend. Okay. But Chelsea are going to win this. My only problem with them is there's no recognizable striker, but they'll find a way to.
You think Kai Havertz can't feel that the top 9 role? We saw him play there last season when
Lukaku he was playing there last season, but it wasn't really. It does not it's very good in the lead up to it, but that finishing touch is missing. So. I still think they should sign a striker, but with the options and the way the market is, I don't know who they can sign. Aubameyang is really not who I would want them to sign.
But he's been linked to the club, and
yes, it was the same way I was putting my palm over my face last season when they said wanted to sign Lukaku, and we saw how that ended.
Okay, so Chelsea leads. Who gets the scoreline? 1-0. Okay, I'm probably thinking 2-0, but Chelsea should do enough to win this. If they don't, I think the very least they will get from this match is a draw. Once again, I'm not Octopus. I'm just, predicting based on what we see from these teams week in, week out, the strength of the team in terms of the quality of the players, the form as well, string of results among others. That it's on that basis I'm making the predictions as well. And I would advise you to go for Chelsea winning this game, at the very least getting a draw. I don't see them losing. Well, let's talk about Manchester City now. They are the defending champions and they face a very tricky tie against Newcastle United at St. James's Park. Newcastle, under Eddie Howe, a rejuvenated side. I mean, they're now very difficult to play with, especially away from home. You think City will drop points?
It's right now. I don't think so. I don't think they will lose. They will drop points tomorrow because they had the stuttering starts to their season last week. So I think they'll want to bounce back this in this weekend. So I see them winning. It might be like a 2-0 win. A
2-0 win?
Yes.
So similar to the scoreline last season. You think they'll win this one?
Yes, I think they'll win it. Okay,
it's difficult to predict. Newcastle can be tricky. Maybe 2-1. City should do enough to at least get a point in this. So your best bet will be to take City on a win or draw basis in terms of City either getting the win or the draw. If Newcastle gets the win, it won't necessarily be a shock, although the chances are, in favor of Manchester City getting a win or at least a draw from this encounter. As I said earlier, just before that, it's time to talk Spanish football, and we'll start with the defending champions Real Madrid, who will be playing Celta Vigo away from home once again. Last week, they played away from home against Almeria. It was quite difficult, but David Alaba's stunning free kick got them through 2-1. This time around, against Celta Vigo, regular customers in the Spanish La Liga, what are you expecting?
Real Madrid is going to take the victory.
Straight up?
Yes.
You don't think it's going to be difficult?
There'll be moments where Celta Vigo will try to launch attacks and all of that, but Real Madrid will win.
Well, with the news we're getting that, Casemiro is on the verge of signing for Manchester United, you still don't think that would disturb, the dressing room?
No, it's not going to.
Okay, scoreline?
3-0.
Okay, well, I'll go for 3-1. And talking about Real Madrid winning as well, again, if you are into sports betting, that's a safe choice to go for Real Madrid win or draw. If you really want to play it safe, you can always, have that two options of Real Madrid either winning or drawing. But I think Real Madrid will do enough to win 2-1 or 3-1. That's how it should end. Real Madrid all the way. Barcelona, again, are in action. Last week, they couldn't score a goal despite Lewandowski playing. I mean, the stars were there, but they just couldn't grind out the victory at Nou Camp against Rayo Vallecano. This time around, it's against a more difficult opponent, Real Sociedad, away from home. What are you? How do you expect Xavi to line up? Because they had the lineup was strong last week.
Yes,
they just couldn't get the goal.
Yes,
and that cost them 2 points. This time around, Real Sociedad away from home. The last 10 years, you need to check the stats. Real Madrid and Barcelona has always found it difficult to win at Real Sociedad.
Yes, and I see that trend kind of continuing because it's just like beginning of last season, so they couldn't find their rhythm. So, and this from if last week was anything to go by, they've still not found it. So it's going to be a very tough match for Barcelona.
Okay, so what will be your prediction?
1-1.
Well, it's difficult to tell. I'll just probably give it a win or draw to Barcelona, but the chances of Barcelona winning that match is slim as well. Well, let's wrap up our preview of selected European matches with Italian Serie A and